Hey everybody, what is up? Today I want to share with you my build for the new flanker champion Lex. At the time of this video, Lex is the newest champion to grace Paladins. Lex is a flanker, so he excels at getting behind enemy lines, flanking the enemies, and not taking people directly head on, because he can melt people fast. His basic attack does 700 damage every shot, and a headshot does over 1,000, like 1,025. Lex also has great mobility, allowing him to get in and out of situations depending on where he's aiming with his dash, and then you have his right-click ability that is great for either initiating fights or finishing them. It's a great finisher move because it's an auto-lock and it does 1,000 damage over a couple of seconds. And then you have his retribution marking ability that gives you extra credits towards the enemies that you get eliminations on, which is a great way to get yourself fed in a short amount of time, putting you ahead of the opposition even faster. And then you have his ultimate, which is an AoE attack in front of him that literally deletes people who have below 65% of their maximum health. So I made a build that I feel takes advantage of his strengths and makes up for his weaknesses. His biggest weakness being he is very, very squishy, with a maximum health pool of only 2,200. He can get deleted really quick. So my build focuses on doing a lot of extra damage and having that tie into a bunch of extra survivability, as well as slightly buffing his 3-second dash escape. And before I get into the nitty-gritty details, I do want to explain that I am not a pro at this game. I don't even have ranked unlocked yet, and I'm stuck in casual queue. However, I have had massive success with this build and with this character, to the point getting 30 to 40 eliminations and only 5 to 10 deaths is pretty regular for me. So here's a look at my build, of which I have dubbed Aggro Survival. Now, the key to this build to make it work in my opinion is to use the legendary card Death Hastens. This allows you to do 40% more damage to enemies over 65% health, which nicely ties into your ultimate. Because as soon as you notice you're not doing that extra 40% damage, it's time to hit that delete button. So my build is as follows: Justice Served 4, The Hunted 2, Commencement 1, Fortitude 4, and Warrants Out 1. So just what do all of these do? The first card, Justice Served, allows me to gain back 65% of my max HP when killing the person who is marked by my ability. And since I'm usually targeting the person who is marked by my ability, this is a great way to keep my health on the up and up. My next card, The Hunted 2, gives me 20% lifesteal against the person who I have targeted. And again, this is just another way for me to heal outside of buying lifesteal in the store during the match. My third card, Commencement number 1, increases my combat dash by 20%, which is nice because your combat dash is your only means of escape and initiation. Having that extra 20% boost for only costing 1 point out of your deck build is a pretty good trade-off in my opinion for really anything else. My fourth card, Fortitude 4, gives me 600 damage over the duration of my Pursuit ability. Now, some of you might want to replace this card given that Pursuit is on a, 14-second cooldown? So it has an innately long cooldown. You're not going to always be able to use this thing to get that 600 health. But when you do use it, and it's in those moments where you're fighting somebody and you're both neck and neck, that 600 health will save your life, and it has saved mine countless times. And then there's the final card, Warrants Out 1, which gives me a 10% movement speed boost at the end of my combat dash. And I find for 1 point, this is a really nice card to have when you are both trying to escape or just trying to chase somebody. Because after you use your dash every 3 seconds, you're going to have that movement speed boost on top of any other movement speed that you get with the items that you buy during a match. You can easily outpace somebody. Now, the key part of this build is being able to rightly attack the person who is marked by your ability, Retribution. You have to make sure that you are focusing them a lot of the time if you want to stay alive. If you feel you're pretty confident and you don't necessarily need to do that because you have maybe a good supporter, a good healer, then by all means go for that. But by focusing your Retribution target, you will have the added benefits of the lifesteal as well as the bunch of health when you actually kill the person. And the cool thing about the Retribution ability itself is that you can re-roll it every 30 seconds, I believe, or so. And if you don't like your target, then yeah, just re-roll it and find a better one. Personally, I like to go for Skies or Maves or any other flanker or damage dealer. Not necessarily the tank, but somebody that I can flank or counter pretty easily, because Lex just does so much damage that all it takes is 2 body shots plus the pursuit right-click ability and they're dead. And choosing the 40% extra damage when enemies are above a certain health threshold is the card that allows you to kill people in 3 shots. So now that we have an idea of what deck and legendary card that we're using, what about an in-game build? You know, the shop that you gain credits to use in that allows you to buff your character during a match, like League of Legends or really any other MOBA. Well, here's what I use that does me pretty well. 1, I focus completely on damage mitigation, either AoE or single target. I look at the enemy team and I see how many of them are doing AoE, how many of them are doing single target with their attacks, and whichever is more is the buff that I'm going to be buying. So in this case, Haven or Blast Shield, I believe it's called. And then of the utility buffs, I will choose either extra movement speed or cooldown reduction on all my abilities except for my ultimate. The ultimate's not really something I worry about too much. I just kind of let it gradually build up and use it when it's available. But having that extra cooldown reduction for my dash and for my pursuit ability is a big deal to me, because that means more heals, more escapes, and more engages. And then for the healing buffs, I will choose either Kill to Heal or Life Rip. Kill to Heal gives you health on eliminations, which is quite nice because as Lex, as a flanker in general, you're going to be getting a lot of kills. Or I'll do Life Rip, where maybe I'm not having a game where I'm getting a ton of eliminations, so having that life steal that gives me health back on hit is always nice. And Life Rip stacks with the lifesteal that you get out of the card in the deck that you're using. That gives you 20% extra lifesteal against your Retribution target. And for offense, I will mainly use Cauterize. This buff allows you to apply a 1.5 second debuff on the enemy that cuts their ability to receive heals by a certain percentage, 30, 60, 90%. So if you're on a target and you're hitting them more than once every 1.5 seconds, their healing ability is going to be very compromised and they will be a lot easier to kill. And that sums up my aggro survival build for Lex. If you would like to see more of these kinds of videos for Paladins, builds, or otherwise, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video, as well as what kind of champion you would like to see for the next video. To ensure you don't miss a future video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as leaving notifications on, and hit that like button while you're at it as well. It really helps out the video, and I would appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and I will catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, one more thing before I go. Don't forget to check out the Discord link to my Discord channel in the description down below. You can head on over there and access it free, no problem. Join up and chat with me and everybody else. Hope to see you there.